Letting a digital marketing agency handle all of your strategy is stupid, and you need to stop it now. Hey guys, Pete here, HVAC Greatness. Little pointed, I know, but I want you to pull back and let's consider a few things, okay? What we do is heating and air conditioning. Clearly, we've got to focus on our craft, but this is not a job. This is a business, guys. And being a business owner requires you to take on additional responsibilities, more than just above and beyond than just the excellence of your craft. And by the way, that needs to be excellent. If you're not doing really good quality work, that's a really important place to start improving your business. But at some point, you're going to have to take control of what we call marketing. And when I'm saying marketing, guys, I'm not talking about advertising. That's just a piece. Your marketing is everything that you do. Everything that you do is marketing. There are things that you do and things that you don't do, and things that are in your appearance or in your vocabulary or in all the aspects of your business that either attract customers or repel them, or they keep them around for more, or a host of other things as we dig into the psychology of this crazy thing. But the point is that as a business owner, you really have to step your game up if you're going to take things to the next level, especially as things develop in the digital world. I mean, we're in 2023, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on. These young kids are going to come in and out advertise you. Some of you young guys are already moving in that direction, but there's a lot of old school principles that will not be outdated, and they're going to continue to function. Now, while one of those might be price sales, promotions, discounts, rebates, and that's been played out, it's your ability to isolate and target something unique so that you can attract a different type of customer that allows you to elevate yourself and charge more. Because, I mean, what are discounts, right? It's a race to a lower price. And many HVAC business owners, a lot of which, the ones that I'm encountering with, that race to the lower price takes them beneath the floor of break even. It takes them to the point where they're losing money, and because they don't know what that line is, they dip below it quite often, lose money on jobs, and don't even know it. They get to the end of the year and they see all the money that they've turned over, and they say, wow, where did it all go? Why am I not farther ahead? Where's my money going? And so obviously this dials into this speaks to the fundamentals of proper departmentalization on your accounting, which by that, what we mean is we have everything broke out in departments so that it's not just one big lump, and we can see, but also the expenses that are related to that, the overhead that is related to that. And then from there, we can kind of see where we're making money and where we're losing money. And when we do our marketing and advertising, we can also dial in and get reports that allow us to understand what's working and not working in that area as well. So if you're going to be a professional business owner, I would say that the most important things that you need to know are this, okay? The quality of your craft is vital. You really have to be good at what you do, okay? If you're not, keep learning, keep studying, keep taking classes, keep improving. Number two, taking control of your identity and your marketing is what actually will propel you forward and allow you to get more calls and get more business and get more people who value that excellent service that you've developed. And number three, you kind of have to understand your numbers well enough so that you're charging appropriately and you're not losing money. You don't want to overcharge either. Now, when we are charging, there's three things that we want to take into consideration. We'll insert this here because this is important. There's what it costs you to do said job? What does it cost you to do that maintenance visit? What does it cost you to do that repair, to replace that capacitor, that contactor, that condenser fan motor? And what does it cost you to replace that new system or that old equipment with that new system? So direct cost is the way most people do calculate what they're going to charge. But there's two more things that you need to consider here. Number one is, what is the value? Because at the end of the day, you can spend a lot of money in providing something, and the customer might say, well, I don't care what you spent on it. I don't want that. It's not worth it to me, right? And so the value of each of your areas is a factor of what you charge. Now, a lot of people take a lot of grief for charging more on new equipment replacement and less in some of the other areas of their business. But it's not that they're necessarily taking advantage, although some do, don't get me wrong. It's just that we have to kind of put the added margins where the value is, so that they will actually accept the work, accept the sale, or buy your service, whatever that may be. Does that make sense? So there's certain things of greater value and you can charge more, and there's certain things of lesser value you can charge less. And a lot of people, for example, come in at break even or even losing a little bit of money on maintenance agreements, because they know that that relationship ultimately will result in repairs and replacement later. So they'll take that front end, that loss leader. But the third and unspoken is liability and responsibility. In order for your company to take on a job, if it's a high risk, let's say you're changing a package unit on a rooftop and there's a crane involved and it's lifting it way in the air, and there's cars around, there's a building with a roof, and if something falls, there's insurance. That's a big responsibility, guys. And you don't charge just based on what it costs you, because there's the potential of things going wrong. And if you don't want to be the lowest bidder on these things. You want to be the one that they go to, because they know it's going to be done right, and they know it's going to be done safely. So you slow down, you take the security steps, you buy insurance, you do everything you possibly can, and you charge for that. And therefore you make more money. That's why light commercial replacement is generally a higher margin, but you really need to be good at what you're doing in order to do that right. So enough about the pricing section. The point that we talk about, the whole thing with HVAC greatness, this whole process over here is about taking you out of the commodity world of just being another heating and air conditioning company, and being a company that is set apart. Basically, you need to set yourself apart if you're going to be perceived as different, and you need to be perceived as different if you're expecting to be able to charge more money than these guys that are fighting over the bone of the cheapest price. And a lot of customers understand you're paying your guys better, and so you're going to have to charge more. You're slowing down and doing a more thorough job. And you're not like the other guys that are rushing through it because they want to make money and not spending any extra time. You're using quality of materials. They're using cheap stuff. You're taking the proper steps, like a nitrogen purge or proper commissioning of the system into operation. And these others are just set it and forget it and go, and then you can't get them back. You're going to stand behind the work. They're not. So your better consumers understand this. Now, in today's economy, money's still an issue, and we've been talking about that. So we have to get dialed in on that. But what are you doing in order to communicate that you're different somehow? This is a strategy, guys. And so when you're marketing, don't just depend on these digital agencies, which, they're there for a reason. But if you just give them allow them to choose the message for you, they're going to be looking for promotions. They're going to be looking for sales. They're going to be looking for rebates. They're going to be looking for discounts. They're going to be looking for some type of a financial attention grabber in order to get your customers, your prospective customers, to call you and give you a chance to come in and then become customers. And that's a strategy that most heating and air conditioning companies use, and they'll continue to use. But you need to be implementing a strategy that allows you to be perceived as something uniquely special and perfect for them. That's what I want. And so if I were a 25-year-old HVAC technician looking to start my business, as well as have time for my jujitsu class and my MMA training and a little bit of gaming on the weekends. And I'm trying to create a balanced business in life for that. Somebody might come in and say, hey, let us help you start your business and do some type of an advertising and $100 off. Or somebody might market and say, listen, if you're in your mid-20s and you love HVAC, you're starting your own business, but you need the balance for your gaming and for your MMA and your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training, this program is going to give you the balance that you need so that you can run a business productively, efficiently, and as well as profitably. Maybe something like that. Okay, so when it speaks directly to you, that's what we call dog whistle marketing. And I've mentioned this a time or two on shorts and whatnot, but dog whistle marketing is very it's very selective, and it's also somewhat repelling. It's somewhat polarizing, and so it's going to repel customers who are not, that it's not intended for. Okay, so when you we step back a little bit. When you understand that you don't want everybody as a customer just because they have heating and air conditioning equipment that you can fix, maintain, replace, or what have you, you have to look at the customer. You have to look at the equipment owner and think to yourself, is this the type of customer that I want? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Are they going to be a headache? They're going to be a pain in the rear? Are they going to be, calling me back and just beating me up on price and things like this? There's a number of reasons why you don't want to do business with people, but ultimately what we do is we find out who our ideal customer is and what it is that they want, right? And once we understand the customers, what they do want, what they don't want, what they think they want, what they misunderstand, what external influences are happening in their world, once we analyze that, and then we analyze ourselves, we can come together and realize that we can be the type of company that this particular type of customer wants. And these tend to be customers, at least in my business, who they want it done right, and they'll pay a little bit more to have somebody out who's going to do the work properly, stand behind the work, and treat me like a human being, for example. That's just one example. Now, there's several strategies that will get you there. And that is a personal journey that we typically take you through in our program. But when you go through this, you start to realize, well, do I want to build a business on this thing over here because people want it? Or do I want to build a business on something that I enjoy and I'm passionate about and I can see myself doing for the next 20 years or beyond, right? So you're a big part of this. And then once we have that, we have to attract people to come help us. And that's called culture. That's this over here, employees. And you don't just hire anybody for that. So this is a progression. This is the bare foundation to building a winning marketing system. And I said in the very beginning, marketing is not advertising. I mean, advertising is part of marketing, but marketing is part of your processes. It's part of your, it's the things that you do way back from trying to get their attention in advertising and the wrap on your vehicle, on your website, into the customer experience with the way that your phone's answered, and then the way the technicians interact, and then the sales process, and all of these different things. All of this is marketing because it's designed to elicit a response. It's designed to get a reaction. It's designed to appeal to a certain type of customer who loves what you are doing. And if we do this with the dog whistle marketing strategy and really focus in, we eliminate and polarize a lot of these others. But Pete, what if there's not enough of these customers? Listen to me, guys. You don't want all those other customers. In fact, if you learn to get a very focused and powerful and compelling marketing message in front of your ideal customers, you won't just get one or two responses like you usually do. You'll get multiples of that. You'll get many, many, many more people responding to that because you're speaking to a deeper place. And that's what I'm talking about. And so as you're considering running advertising and getting that phone to ring, go ahead and use your discounts for now. Use your free second opinions or cash discount for your old system and upgrading to a new system, or available utility rebates or government rebates, whatever you can use that at first until you go through and create a strategy. Now, this is not something that's done quickly. And a lot of companies, look, there's a lot of good companies out there. They do these wonderful van wraps and website designs, and they'll make you look professional. But if we really want to dial in and speak specifically to our ideal customer and we want more of them, then we have to do a little bit more work. And nobody else out there is doing this, not like what we are. Nobody's really dialing in on this. And this is important because as you take your customer through the journey of getting to know and do business with you, we have to get the door open first. Then once we're in the door, we have to build a relationship, and we build upon a strong foundation as we go through. And this is how a customer base is built. This is where loyalty comes from. This is where an attitude of, yeah, you're a little bit more than everybody else, but you're my guy, you're my gal, you're my company, you're the ones that I trust, right? And that's what it's about. Now, in order to keep that, keep your integrity high, remain professionals, and never, ever abuse your customers' trust. Create some fair pricing. You may have to value skew, like I mentioned earlier. Some things have greater value, so you charge more for that. Some things are harder to build value in, so you may charge a little less in that. You may have to accountability and risk skew. Some jobs are a little more dangerous, or a little bit more liability back on you. So I've got to up my price to cover myself so that you can stand behind your work, so that you can be there when they need you. So all of this is based on fundamentals of integrity and doing right by your customer and caring about them and taking pride in what you do and really feeling good about what you do and the work that you put out there. And if you're following some of the messages, and I know this is tempting, building a 30, 40, 50 million dollar business in 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, I mean, that's really not the goal. I mean, we think it is. Wow, wouldn't that be great to have a $50 million company? That's not the goal. The goal is to build a business that you love being a part of, that does pay financially for the lifestyle that you're looking for and meet all of your needs and your children, their schooling and your team, your employees, taking care of them. Yeah, all of that financial part needs to be satisfied, but you don't have to get to those levels to do that. And those levels may not even be attainable in your market. So you have to have the foundation, you have to have that market, do that market research and see what's available. Then you have to look at the customer types. Do I want to work with it? I mean, at the end of the day, when you go on the weekend and you go out to eat and your customers recognize you and come up to you, you want them to say, wow, this is my heating and air guy or my heating and air guy. We love our new system, blah, 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 and feel good about this versus, yeah, that's the SOB that charged me $10,000 more than the other company would have. That's the son of a gun that wouldn't come back after you put my system in. And this can be a reality. Now, if you're in a really huge market, maybe you don't run that risk as often, but the smaller your market is, the more people know each other and the more important this is. But if you have integrity, it's important anyway. Okay, so back to the marketing point. The type of marketing that we're recommending is built on an identity. This is not just a message, it's an identity, because this identity that you create, that is what we call our blue ocean in the Red Sea of shark-infested heating and air conditioning contractors that are competing over the lowest bid and all this other stuff. You sail past all that. In your blue ocean, you create something different, and you can do that. but it does take a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of creation. It takes a little bit of internal reflection, as well as analyzing your market, analyzing your customers, and seeing where the opportunities lay. And if you'll do that and dial in, I think you're going to find that by the end of that transition or that transformation into this new identity comes all types of new marketing messages that can appeal to different customers within your ideal customer avatar. Now, one customer may love you because you're professional, and another customer may love you because you're so darn good at what you do and you explain what you do so well. So there's a number of different variables that keeps them coming back. So creating this multifaceted identity that appeals to a host of different high-end quality customers that you've dialed in and focused on is a bit of an art, as well as a skill set that can be developed just as easily as learning how to measure superheat, subcooling, and airflow. So something to think about. I hope you enjoyed this. This one was really brief, but I've got to run today. I've got to take care of the wife. She needs some stuff done. So you guys be safe out there. Hit me up, HVACgreatness@gmail.com. If you want to learn more about how to do some of this stuff. I'm helping several people go through this, and maybe you'll be one of those one day. Pete Ramsey, your HVAC Greatness. Hope to see you on the next one.